Welcome to Sipping Reality X with Jill and
Megan.
We have a cool topic today.
Yeah, we do.
We were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we stopped ourselves so that we could bottle it all up.
Yeah, we didn't want to come up with anything too exciting and then not be able to come up with it.
Right. Yeah.
To get on here and talk to all of you.
Yep. So here we are, and then we sat here and said, what were we talking about earlier?
We were chatting about BDSM, the community, the lifestyle, how some people don't like to call it a lifestyle. Some people who are really into kink actually reject the community altogether.
Yep.
We were talking about the different aspects of that and reasons for it. And some of the people that I know that have really rejected it, yet are very much into kink, are still extremely insecure people.
Yes.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the people that we've met who have been in BDSM lifestyle and community long term are actually the most non-judgmental and secure people we've ever met.
I have found that too. I would agree.
Right? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And so we started talking about the healing that comes within it, and
yeah,
Megan has just been starting to explore a more dominant side and
yes.
share how that feels for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be dominated, especially I think like female to female. Well, no, I mean especially with male, but like I wanted whenever I pictured myself with a female, I was being dominated.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me, actually.
Yeah. But I did have some switchy moments in my mind over the years. But it was predominantly me being dominated that turned me on. But I think, I mean, not even just with women. I've talked to some young men that are, you know, they want to be like cubs, you know, they want their
That's
dummy.
kind of cute.
Yeah.
I want to be your little cub.
Yeah, I think that's cute.
It is cute.
They want their dummy, you know, and they want to serve. And
but how does it feel?
I'm trying to get to it. I'm trying to get to it. So I feel like I could totally step into that role. I think it's really good for me because the areas in my life, like people pleasing and not standing up for myself when I'm uncomfortable because I don't want to make somebody else uncomfortable, like that kind of aspect to myself that I have been working really hard to change, which in fact I am, because I went on a date the other night that first time I ever walked out on anybody, one of the biggest douchebags I've ever met in my whole life. But a year ago, I probably would have stayed and suffered through that interaction and not wanted to hurt his feelings or make him uncomfortable. And I only bring this up because I think they're directly correlated to
your dominant side coming out.
My dominant side coming out, standing up and being able to make the first move, be very confident. They're definitely correlated very strongly, and because I was able to do that, I do feel this side of me that is like stepping
emerging.
up. Yeah, it's like totally stepping up, and I it feels good. It feels
strong.
Yeah, strong and powerful. And
I had a vision last week during a somatic breath work that I was doing, an hour-long somatic breath work. What did they call it? Ceremony. They called it a ceremony. Anyways, it was really a great experience. And during it, at one point the man that was guiding it, he invited us to see our shadow self, to take a moment to connect with our shadow self. And immediately I had a vision of this little blonde girl sitting there with her head down on a chair, kneeling on the ground, just crying, and then punching her own head. I mean, it was really depressing. And then all of a sudden, this girl just like got up, and she was in black leather with a whip, and she became this mighty dom.
Yeah.
Like strong and sexy and
Yep.
powerful. And then she was looking in a mirror, and on the other side of the mirror was this woman all in white. Just this gentle, beautiful woman all in white. And it was like the duality of me, of the secure version of me. And it was so awesome.
Yeah.
It was a really cool vision.
I was thinking about this yesterday, and that kind of ties into it. I think that there's a like pure form of like, I don't want to use the word feminism, becoming feminine as a woman.
There's a difference between
that we're not like
feminism and being feminine.
Being feminine, you're right.
And the feminist spirit and all of that.
There's
a difference between the two.
Powerful in your feminism, right?
Femininity.
That's
Yes. Not
what I meant.
feminism.
I didn't mean to say feminism.
Yes.
Right, okay. Now we got that straight. And not in a position where you think you're above men or don't need men. Very
No, a place where you greatly desire men.
and appreciate
And an alpha one and their masculinity.
Right.
I think when I'm in that place in my femininity and I'm feeling strong and powerful, I all the more want a masculine man.
Yes,
and
me too.
want
Yeah.
a really true that manliness.
And I think
right?
that femininity brings out masculinity in a man too. And they're so super complementary.
And vice versa. And it's a security, because when you're around a secure man invites your femininity because of that. And a very secure feminine woman invites their masculinity, because when we're insecure, we spend so much time trying to tear down the opposite sex's femininity or masculinity to help us to feel more secure in our relationship, because we're insecure.
It's a great point that that tearing down of another gender or anybody else is always rooted in insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing in the BDSM world is that these people that have been exploring and open and experienced all of these dynamics and these dom and sub and stepping into these roles and becoming secure in their sexuality, they've become secure and non-judgmental human beings, because judgment also, we've been noticing, is consistent with security or insecurity.
Well, I mean, when you're in that place, you're kind of observing natural humanness, and it's kind of puts you in this like observation seat, and you're like, this is what is naturally coming up for humans. And I feel more loving and way less judgmental than I've ever been, accepting and understanding of people, even in situations that I didn't before. I guess, for example, they're the couple that we've talked about a whole bunch of times, that we absolutely adore. The way they view people's desires is, I don't know, it's astounding. I feel, and you've talked about feeling when you were with them just so unjudged and like free and comfortable in a way with other people that we really have never felt that welcomed and safe, right? And the way they're viewing people and their desires is like, this is just a core part of who we are as a human. And they have just this understanding of that you could feel the love that they have for people and their need to express themselves in these ways. And it's really, I admire it.
Well, they have jobs, they have a family, they have this whole life, but then they have this other life where in the community, and we've talked about this, they don't even come out and say that this is what they're doing. But this is what they're doing, that they find people and they discover what their fantasies are, and then they fulfill them for them. And at the same time, fulfill their own fantasies within it, and their own desires within it. And everybody ends up satisfied. Yeah. And they're giving that to people, and it's a gift. And it's not something they charge for. It's something that they're enjoying also.
Right.
And it's really beautiful.
I mean, of course, they're doing with people that they connect with.
And are comfortable with, of course.
Right. But yeah, I mean, what they did for me at the hotel was healing in a way. I mean, it looked like I gave birth at the end of it, like this, like calm, this peace, right at the end, and it felt that way. And it there really is healing in experiencing these places.
Well, there is a confidence and there's a need to overcome trauma in order to engage in most of the things that you need to engage with to enter these dynamics, or to be comfortable enough with yourself to, in a secure way, embrace these scenes and these interactions.
And I think not be triggered by them, but you have to be aware.
Well, I do get triggered by them.
But that in and of itself is healing, because you are bringing them up and then you get to observe them.
Well, it depends on how you handle the trigger and how the person you're with handles the trigger. So the person that I'm currently with, I finally was able to have sex with him without crying for the first time last weekend.
He let you have sex with him and cry. That's
Every
how you
time.
got to that point.
Yes, without judgment, without insecurity. Because he's not insecure, wondering, oh, what are you crying about? Like, who are you crying about? Someone else? Like, somebody who's insecure wouldn't have allowed me to cry without needing to know why I'm crying. He's like, you're welcome to share. You don't have to share. Come here, let me hold you. And one time I almost didn't let him. I curled up in a ball. And I was like pushing him away. I'm like, no. And he's like, you are coming here and letting me hold you.
Yeah.
And it's because of the dynamic where he's the dom.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have to listen.
Yeah.
And I'm like in that space of I have to listen to this person.
Yes.
But because he's secure, because he's experienced in this world and lifestyle, he has that security.
Yeah.
That I was... okay, I need to let him hold me, and I did.
Yeah.
And I gave into that.
And it changes you. It does.
It's
that
very
security,
healing.
that safety.
Well, this is the light side of BDSM, and then people talk about the dark side.
Like the guy I met the other night.
So,
who wants to be a dom without building any kind of friendship or trust.
Well, explain what happened so that, briefly.
Right.
So that they understand what you're saying.
I mean, I only spoke to this person for like 24 hours and talked on the phone briefly. And he asked me to go out. And my first red flag was that he told me to meet him. He didn't ask me if I was free. He didn't say, do you want to? He said, I'm going here. Meet me there. Which,
if we're actually dating someone and like them, we actually want that.
That's fine.
But when you don't know somebody
you.
yet, yes,
right.
There's a difference.
That was first red flag, and I should have said, no, I'm not free. So I'll give my observation on myself at the end of this explanation. I went, and then we got out of the car, and he stopped me right before we crossed the road, grabbed my hair, and forced me to kiss him while I was actively trying to say no. Obviously, second major red flag. I should have walked away right there, but I didn't. I told him, I said, I don't kiss people. I pulled away from him. I said, I don't kiss people unless I'm comfortable with them. And he was like, oh, really? And I said, yeah. He was like, well, I'm your daddy. And I was like, that is a earned title. I'm like, you are not my daddy. That is... I don't even know you. You need to earn my respect. You need to earn my submission. You need to earn my trust. And he was like, I just came from a dynamic like that, and there was a deep trust and a bond in order for me to be able to hand over my submission. He was like, well, I don't think we're on the same wavelength here. And
that's so manipulative.
Yeah.
I don't think we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
As if you're not as mature as he is, actually making it sound like you're not in the same place that he is.
Right, like he's in a higher place.
He's really not even engaging in a true dynamic.
No.
He's just wanting to take.
Yep. Yeah. He doesn't want to give, he wants to take. And so he went to the bathroom. I should have walked out. But I didn't want to just leave and be rude. I was still in my head about that. He paid the cover charge, which I was like, crap, now I have to stay.
Because those kind of things make us feel like we have to.
Yep. So we went and sat down, and then I asked him what he meant by that, and he said that he's not looking to make love and is not looking for anything long term. I said, well, if you want to be a dom, you need to build something with someone that is long term. So I don't understand really what you're looking for. He's like, you know what? Let's just enjoy the band and play some pool, and we'll just call it a night. And he cut me off. And he's like, that's what we're doing tonight. That's what we'll do. And I was like, okay. And I asked him about the community. I'm like, are you on FetLife? He's like, oh, there's no community. It's not a community.
But see, this is somebody who's not embracing the community or the lifestyle
That's why I wanted
of it.
To bring it up because it's a perfect example of it.
Yes.
And he's like, no. He's like, I don't make friends. And I don't make friends in the community. I'm not looking to make friends.
But yet you're calling yourself a daddy.
I said, okay, well, to me, you need to have a friendship. Friendship is the basis of a dom-sub relationship. It forms trust and a bond, safety, in order for me to feel comfortable to give my submission. And he said, well, everybody's different. And I was like...
he wanted nothing to do with the true...
No. But
that's
there are
my
women...
question.
We've talked about this before. Go ahead.
So that's my question. Is there actually a dark side to BDSM, or is there just a dark side to humanity?
Yes. That's a period. Because at the end of that.
People who are truly in the community long term, who are mature, secure within that, what we're discovering are the most amazing people we've met in our lifetime so far.
Yeah, beautiful people.
The man that I'm seeing is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, all the time, I'm like, wow, Megan, this guy's great. And you're like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I did walk out on the guy, by the way.
She did, yay.
I went to the bathroom. I said, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I went and collected myself. I was about to walk out without saying goodbye, but I walked over and I said, you know what, I'm going to leave. He was like, okay, go. And I was like, okay, bye.
So you walked out?
I walked out. I walked out a lot sooner than I would have ever, or at all.
And you recognize that you could have and should have walked out immediately.
I should have actually listened to myself when we were on the phone and said, I'm not meeting you. Yes. That's where it should have started.
Well, but at the same time, I don't see anything wrong with you being free in the evening and wanting to go out. And you were right down the street and you're like, why not? Why not go play some pool, listen to music with a random person? You know? I mean, I don't think you did anything wrong by thinking, I'm not going to. Well, after that, that's.
Right there, I should have said, I'm going to leave.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a clear overstepping of anyone's boundary.
And consent.
Yeah, because you hadn't discussed that before as if that's something you wanted or liked.
That's considered sexual assault.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just went inside with him after that. Yeah. To see that those are the things that really, it really gets me. And it's hard. It's really hard for females especially, I think.
But I think people blame the lifestyle on things like that. And that's the point where we're getting towards.
Sexually assaulted at work. You can,
Anywhere. It's not a dark side to BDSM. There's just a dark side to anything.
I was sexually assaulted at a
human
garage getting my car fixed. The guy literally invited me to the back, and I was super naive. And he said he was going to show me something, and I freaking believed him. And then all of a sudden, I was walking through these from floor to ceiling maze of boxes of rims, and I'm walking with him, and I was like, oh fuck. It just dawned on me that he was isolating me. And then he grabbed me, and he was super strong. And he would not let me go. And I tried to move away from him. He was trying to kiss me. He was kissing my neck because I was moving away, my face. I even grabbed him, around his neck and put, to hold myself away from his face so that he couldn't kiss me. And I couldn't get off of him. That's not BDSM. That's not the lifestyle.
No. There's just a darkness anywhere where there's humans, there can be darkness because we possess the ability to be both light and dark. Yeah. And we get to choose.
Yep.
We talk about free will. We talk about things like that. And that's where free will comes in. We have a choice.
Yeah.
To enter into our light side or our dark side, or even that image of myself with the dominatrix and the woman all in white, right? Even that, the dominatrix wasn't wicked. She wasn't evil.
Right.
The little girl that was hitting her own head, that was pretty wicked and depressing. That was pretty dark.
Yeah.
But this woman was secure and sexy and powerful
and kind too.
Evil. It wasn't a sense of wickedness. Yeah. It's just a very interesting thought to think about.
Yeah,
all of that. But where we have humans, we can have darkness, and we just need to be, again, as we always say, discerning, thoughtful, continuously growing and becoming more secure.
We have to deal with our stuff
because
we need to be able to stand up when somebody is crossing a boundary. It's a really hard thing to do, especially for women. We are taught, you shut your mouth, you be uncomfortable, sacrifice yourself so you don't make anybody else uncomfortable. And that's drilled into our heads as children. It's especially if you're not working on those things, any situation can be dangerous to you.
It can.
Not just the lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can. And so it's just interesting the people I've met that have said things like, oh, there's no such thing as the community. There's no such thing as the lifestyle. That doesn't actually exist. And it's always people that aren't actually engaging in it. They're not actually wanting BDSM or wanting a specific dynamic or even wanting kink. Some of these people are people that come on and they're cheating on their wives. They're saying to me that, because I do not sleep with married men, even ones that are in E&M, just because I want to be the spotlight. I don't want to be the side piece.
Right.
So no thank you. That's just my personal choice. These men that are cheating, a few of them have said to me that there's no such thing as the lifestyle and there can be darkness in all of that. And then I'm like, well, what's your kink? What do you enjoy? And they're like, oh, well, I don't really know. I'm just, looking to explore. They don't actually want kink. They just want sex. They just want to cheat on their wife.
Well,
that's
guy,
all they want.
Right. And that guy the other night just wanted to have a woman do whatever the fuck he wanted. And then,
he wanted
discard
control,
her.
not
And then
kink.
discard her.
Yes, he wanted control, not kink.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do notice that. And it is actually good to be aware of, because it's a red flag. If you're talking to somebody and they say these negative things about BDSM, yet they're on a kink site.
Yeah.
Or they're saying that they don't have any particular kinks, but they're on a kink site, unless they're brand new and they want to explore. But even then, they should have an idea of what things they want to start with to explore.
Right.
And if they don't, then maybe they don't actually belong there. And if you do belong there, you should try talking to somebody else.
I think it's a super red flag if somebody doesn't want to be in any community or around people because they don't want to be found out. It exposes them too quickly if they're in a setting like that.
So true.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yes. And these type of people are everywhere. They're wherever you go. You could go to a pottery class and the guy next to you is just there just to find some lonely woman who's there to try and feast on.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter
doubt.
where you go. You could go to the bar, you could be drinking, you could be going in a hiking group. And a man is joining these different groups to look for single, lonely women who are trying to find community. Yeah. They can prey on you anywhere, or vice versa. We always say the female perspective, and I always want to bring in the male perspective. There are also women that do target men in the very same way. So just want to put that out there. As always, to all you men out there, we have not forgotten about you.
There are some cuckoo women.
There are cuckoo women. There are narcissistic women.
What is it? Fatal Attraction? What is that?
Fatal Attraction, yeah.
It's cuckoo.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yes. There are plenty of narcissistic women, all kinds of things. We don't have to put labels on it all,
no.
but there's plenty of women to stay away from too. I can't say I haven't had to deal with that in talking to couples.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah, I've had some experiences with some women.
Yeah, you have.
So, I mean, I guess I've seen it a little bit, what you men might be dealing with.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a great topic today. Yeah. I'm so glad we started talking about this morning.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I have had so much healing around my experiences in the lifestyle over the last 2 years. Observing myself in a way I don't think I would have really been able to without it.
Oh, remember me last spring, who I was when I was just dating for the very first time?
Yeah.
It hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
I started dating for the first time since I was married in May, the first week in May of last year. And now
let loose
who I am.
I know.
Completely different human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And yet I'm still me.
I don't see any bad fruit.
I don't see any bad fruit either.
No.
So we're just going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep on coming on and telling you
being real
all about our experiences.
And raw.
We're going to have some more experiences soon.
What?
I know. When you were talking about rims.
Fuck.
You were talking about the piles of rims, and all I could think of was rim. Like
being ribbed.
What?
Being ribbed.
Ribbed?
Rim
yeah.
job. Yeah,
anything, yeah. I know. 12-year-old mind comes
filthy.
Right out.
I love it.
I never lost that 12-year-old mind.
Oh, I didn't either. I'm filthy.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard
I don't ever want to lose
even
it.
talk in a normal conversation without people saying something that you...
We're going to be 70 with our 12-year-old minds.
Yeah, it's going to be excellent.
I love you.
I love you too. And we love you all.
Yes, thank you guys for listening, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll talk to you soon.